My name is Lisa Groeneveld, and I am the co-founder of OnLogic. We design and manufacture industrial and rugged computers, and our headquarters are located in Vermont. Now, I imagine when you think of Vermont, or many people think of Vermont, they think of a place like this: green, rolling hills, verdant, bucolic. And Vermont is all of those things. It's the home of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and it's the home of ski slopes and all things that most people find fun. But Vermont is also home to a growing tech sector that many people are not necessarily aware of. And OnLogic is one of the many tech center organizations in Vermont. And so I'm very pleased to introduce you to OnLogic, which is located in South Burlington, Vermont. This is our facility. It's 140,000 square feet in a beautiful field in Vermont. And it is from here that OnLogic does pretty much everything. We design our computers, we have our sales team, we have our technical team, we have our production facility in Vermont, and we have a warehouse. This 140,000 square foot facility, you see the office area in the front, is backed up by the production and warehouse area in the back. Now, it's not always this blue skies in Vermont. We're sort of a snowy place, so I wanted to put up a beautiful picture so that you could really enjoy it. And now I would love to take a few minutes to sort of introduce you to OnLogic's history. My husband, Roland, and I co-founded OnLogic together 21 years ago. I am from Barrie, Vermont, and my husband, Roland, is from Oosterhout, the Netherlands. And we were living in the Netherlands 21 or 22 years ago at around the time my father died. I grew up in Vermont. It was a very close-knit family that I have. And so when Dad died, Roland and I decided to move back to the United States to be closer to my mom and my brothers. And we ended up in Boston. And so 21 years ago, we were in Boston. I had gone out and I found a job. We were living in a 1,200 square foot apartment in a town called Rosendale. And I came home from work one day and Roland said to me, "Lisa, you are not going to believe it. I found these mini ITX motherboards. They're about that big and they're available in Asia. And I think we can import these motherboards to the United States, sell them online with computer peripherals like hard drives and cables and cases, and we could start a business. We could build these computers, we could test them, we could ship them. Do you want to start a business?" And I thought, well, yeah, let's go ahead and start a business. I was too dumb to know that it was going to be difficult to start a business. So throw caution to the wind and let's just do it. And so we started by putting all of these products on a website, on an e-commerce site. And an interesting thing was going on at that time. At that time, business people like yourselves were becoming more comfortable putting your corporate credit cards, in many cases, on the internet to buy things. And so people started coming to our website to buy our computers, and also Google AdWords had recently launched their service. And so two people in a tiny apartment in Boston were able to help get the word out about who we are and what we were doing. And so customers would come in, they would buy a computer online. I would call them back and say, "What are you doing with this computer? Why did you just buy 50 cables? Is there anything else we can help you with?" And so our customers were very kind. They told us what they were doing. And based on all that amazing input, we were able to grow the business. And we became profitable pretty quickly. And it was at that point we relocated from Boston up to South Burlington, Vermont. And so where are we today? Besides our beautiful location in South Burlington, Vermont, OnLogic is also located in Cary, North Carolina. And between Vermont and North Carolina, we support the Americas with in-region support, shipping, technical support, sales support. We are also in Oosterhout, the Netherlands, the village Roland grew up in, and Dusseldorf, Germany. And in those locations, we support our customers in Europe. And you can see we're also in Taiwan and we're in Malaysia. And the Taiwanese and the Malaysian teams are responsible for product management, project management, purchasing, engineering, all the support services you might imagine a company like OnLogic would need. And so we've been growing fast. At this point, we've shipped at least 800,000 systems and probably far more componentry to our customers. And, we offer really meaningful industrial and rugged computers to companies you've all interacted with. And I just want to say, I'm going to venture a guess that it is actually highly likely that perhaps in the last 24 to 48 hours, many of you have interacted with a rugged or industrial computer from OnLogic and not even known it. Maybe you drove a car with either Bridgestone or Michelin tires. We help them in their manufacturing process. Perhaps you've eaten some food from Sunkist. We help them in their manufacturing process. And if you've received a package from Amazon, you've interacted with an OnLogic computer because we're in their fulfillment centers. So we are wherever our customers need us to be. We are wherever our customers need rugged and industrial computing. So I want to talk about one of my favorite customers because I actually remember when Steel Dynamics called us years ago. They called and they said, we have these desktop x86 computers in our manufacturing area, and they are breaking down all the time. You're all familiar with desktop computers. Their appropriate fit and function is on a desk in a fairly well-controlled environment in most cases. If you put them in an industrial place, they're probably not going to really do very well. So Steel Dynamics called us and said, we need high vibration, wide temperature. Can you help us out? And we were able to provide them with a perfect fit solution for their application. And it's not all work and drudgery at OnLogic. We also do some fun things. I remember when Universal Studios called us. The wonderful thing about this application is they called us at around the time they actually started designing for their water park. So we were able to get involved very early on and give them some advice about how to work with their kiosks such that our computers would work well in their kiosks. So you can imagine what they're doing. They want to give their guests bracelets, and the guest goes up to the kiosk and lets the system know that they're there and they want to do a ride. And so these computers needed to also be wide temperature range. It's a very inhospitable environment with the sun beaming on these kiosks. So those are just two examples, but our computers can be found everywhere. They are on premise. They are often in office spaces with, well-maintained environments, air conditioning, safe environments. But our computers can be off premises as well, anywhere you might need a rugged or industrial computer. So we find ourselves in transportation solutions. We're in medical systems. We are in factories. We're in warehouses. Anywhere reliability is really critical. There it goes. So I just want to show you sort of our product range, right? We have industrial computers because we realize that for many of our customers, they want something sort of semi-rugged. It has to be a good fit for their application. And maybe their application is, it's in a well-maintained area. They just don't want to have to ever really go in and touch that computer again once they install it. Those are very cost-effective solutions. And you move up the value line to the rugged computers, which have a very wide operating temperature. They resist vibration. Their operating temperatures, as you can see up here, are -40 to +70 centigrade. And these are, obviously more customizable, and they're fit for really extreme environments. We also offer our customers panel PCs, which are fantastic in factory environments. And finally, we have edge servers. And I want to touch on that for a minute. I just want to talk about the edge for a minute. All of us in IT and all of us in hardware, we hear a lot about the edge. We hear about the near edge, the middle edge, the far edge. And we all think of it as an endpoint, a terminus, the remote. And it's very far away from the data center, and it's very far away from the cloud. It's often far away from the customer premises. And it's where a lot of important computing is happening. But in IT, we tend to be focused on everything from the cloud to the edge. Our customers think of the edge actually as the beginning. It is, in fact, the beginning of everything they do that they feel is really meaningful to their customers. So I want to talk a little bit about, yes, go ahead. Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So the edge servers line assumes rack mount, but there are obviously usually small clusters that defy, installation of or use of a rack. Would that be still in the edge server category, just not a leading form factor, or would you talk about ganging like rugged computers or something like that, depending on the environment?
Well, I would say our edge servers are really well positioned to be run in areas where a server would be appropriate, but a rugged server is more appropriate.
Okay.
And so, kind of depending on who you talk to, this is an edge solution. It's not necessarily in a customer's main data center, but it might be on premises. And I think it is typically on premise, right, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, just real quick. So a lot of times our edge servers are, those are the devices that are out there on premises. They can be rack mounted, but they're also, the kind of systems that you might just have in an office utility closet, not necessarily in a, here's a big 42U 1200 millimeter rack.
Oh, no, I bet
right?
it'd be a short rack. It's
Yeah.
Just,
and we do see a lot of other scenarios where you have people kind of contextualizing the server application and running different server-based applications, even on a variety of our different endpoints.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Yeah, great, thanks.
And Ross is going to talk to you about that when he talks about our products. So he'll go into more details about things like that. And so these edge servers, the whole concept of the edge is actually where everything begins for our partners and our customers. And so I would like to talk a little bit about how we do it at OnLogic, right? And I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, if you're not meaningfully unique, you better be cheap. We knew, and as our kids would say, we are not delulu enough to think that we were ever going to be able to compete heads on against some of the larger industrial PC companies in our industry. These are extremely well-run companies. They have fantastic products. They've been doing this a lot longer than OnLogic in a lot of cases. And so we knew that we had to do things differently at OnLogic, and we had to figure out a way to do being different better. And so some of the ways in which we meet our customers' challenges are right here. And this is sort of a quick overview of what we do for our customers that we feel is meaningful to our customers. But I'd actually like to touch on something that is in our mind, a competitive advantage that would be really hard to replicate. And that is our culture. OnLogic holds very true to our core values. Our core values are open, fair, independent, and innovative. And, when I think about our business and the ways in which we're innovative, we are financially independent. We're closely privately held, which has given us the ability to make choices, for example, open an industrial PC company in Vermont, that are not necessarily obvious and not necessarily something people would think would be successful, but have been successful. We are fair. We were one of the first companies in our industry to present all of our pricing online for our customers, because our customers are people like you all, right? They come to our site, they want to educate themselves. They want to see our knowledge. They want to, partake in our knowledge, and we offer it freely. And we make sure that the pricing is obvious and available to our partners so that they can decide, is OnLogic going to be a good fit to work with? And we're open. We have open office space. We have an open book policy to our employees in which we share all of our financials. We have an open salary policy. We don't do these things just to be kind. We do these things for our employees, our team, our community, our customers, because we feel like if we give people the information they need to make a good decision, they can make decisions more quickly, they can make decisions more independently. And so that's been a large part of our success. And so I'm going to wrap up, but I just would like to wrap up with a story. Quite a few months ago now, we got a phone call from a company, and they're in testing right now, and it's going really well. They're looking for and hoping for a global rollout. And they called us and they said, OnLogic, we have designed an amazing AI system that we would like to install at the base of wind turbines. wind as a renewable energy resource is very important to battling global climate change, which I think we can all agree is a major problem. But one of the dark sides of wind power is the fact that the turbines turn and they can kill migratory birds. And they have been known to kill birds that are part of the endangered species list. And so this company came to us and said, we have an AI solution that we've developed, and we need to put it at the base of the windmill. So are you guys able to put together a solution for us that's not just wide temperature range, not just going to work in the field, but actually has the processing power to support an AI solution? And we're like, yeah, sure, we can totally do that at OnLogic. And so we help them kind of reach their goals and reach their dreams. And that is just one specific example of the many ways in which our customers are able to make a positive impact on the world. And because of the way we do business at OnLogic, together with our customers, OnLogic makes it possible. So I'd like to thank you all of the delegates in the room today, everybody joining us online. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you'll stick around to hear from my colleague Ross while he talks about his products or our products at OnLogic, and my colleague Amber while she talks about our partnerships. And if you want to find out more about OnLogic, this is where you can find us.
Lisa, just a quick question before we dig into the product details.
Absolutely.
So you've got your computers, you've got your panels. What do you do for storage?
Ross, my product guy. One of the things I do really well is hire really smart people to talk about storage.
Right. So a lot of the storage that we have is generally the embedded storage that's within our systems, right? So we're looking at unique scenarios where a lot of these devices are out, and Lisa kind of pointed to one with Steel Dynamics. I'll go into that a little bit more a little bit later, but these are devices, they're storage devices that need to be enclosed and encased within these platforms and support the wide temperature ranges. So a lot of what we do is leverage, these wide temperature M.2 style form factors. In several of our systems, we support, solid state 2.5-inch hot swap storage if you need higher capacity because you're trying to do a lot of, data collection there at the edge. But the hope is that we can ultimately take this input, refine it down, do the processing there at the edge, so we're not stuck with an accumulation of information that we're then just trying to take and store off later, right? We're pruning it down at the edge before we have to ship it up to our enterprise or back up into the cloud.
So do you have built-in deduplication and that sort of thing in your systems?
Several of our systems support, some of the basic RAID functionalities that you would find, for mirroring and striping and, going into RAID 5 with parity, et cetera. Now, when we do like a full-on data dedupe style application, we're not getting into that at the edge, so to speak, a lot of times, and a lot of our customers aren't really coming to us asking for that level of detail, because if they really need that for the critical data that's already been kind of pruned and parsed down and then they've put up, they're taking care of that usually at the enterprise level or within the cloud. Okay.
So before we go on to the next thing, you guys talk about the built to order capability, and it sounds very artisanal in that way, but there's lots of products when I look at your website that are like pre-built solutions. How is that trade-off for you guys? Is it like you start here and you have derivatives that go towards what a customer's need are? And is there like a floor that you have to get into of X number of units before it's like, okay, we're going to go do this bespoke thing?
Actually, what you're probably seeing on our website is our configurator, which was sort of yeoman's effort to design our website to support a configurator for our customers. So as our customers come in, they pick basically what they want, and then they go through and they configure. And so there are 13 flavors of vanilla. I mean, every permutation is possible through the configurators.
Okay.
And so a customer can come in and configure it one computer one way and the next computer the other way, and it goes through our production team in the exact same fashion. So everything is built to order, from one computer to 10,000 computers.
Okay.
We're able to meet those like unique needs. And so some customers actually have multiple configurations depending on their end use.
Okay, but it's not necessarily I've got a space that's this big and I need you to do me a custom fab case that's ruggedized and industrial that'll fit in that little space.
We could do that.
Okay.
We could. And we have.
Yeah. It's just not the
in
bread
the
and
right
butter.
circumstances.
Yeah.
So our philosophy, as we call it, is designed to be redesigned so that customers can come in and get enough customization that doesn't require us to spin it up from the ground up every single time.
Okay.